So to put this into perspective, today it's going to be negative 21 Fahrenheit, and even with the warmers my battery is letting go. I'm actually in snowshoes, and the rubber pieces that are on the poles have actually froze. So it is cold as hell. Battery is barely last 30 seconds, so this is gonna be a fun one. So I've been here many times. This is Paul Smith Visitor Interpretive Center in Adirondacks. Nice area, but when it's cold like this, oh my gosh. You know, there's something to be said about the cold temperatures out here. It is still incredibly beautiful. Everywhere around me there's everything covered in snow. It is cold though, but comes with the territory. So apparently my gimbal decided to crap out. Whoop. Was it cold or what? It is like sub-zero temperature. And you know what? Even in the forest, every single blow of air, every single puff of air just freezes you right down to the bone. Thankfully I have hand warmers and I put some in my feet. And GoPro life has gone from 30 seconds to about 20, so bye. One of the coolest aspects of being out here, no pun intended, is seeing all the animal tracks. So you could see a deer that ran from thereabouts and then across. There you go. Crazy deer. And the trail goes up and down. This being my first time in the snowshoes with a bad knee, oh, it's not too bad, I suppose. Guess I take what I could get at this point. And it is really beautiful though. Really beautiful. And all the hand warmers, like I said, they do a swell job. That's for sure. So there is a point of zen, I suppose, in which you reach when you get in the groove and just keep walking and walking and walking. And no matter where you are, surrounded by about the same thing. So you have to be vigilant about paying attention to signs that are posted and hope that nobody has messed with the signs. Because otherwise your 3-mile hike will turn into a 23-mile hike. Have to be more or less familiar with the terrain. So especially this time of year, because it's really hard to orienteer. If you look, looks about the same everywhere, doesn't it? And up in the back over there, there's some cliffs. Hard to see through the thick of vegetation, but let me see if I could get a better close-up of them. I never quite made it to the cliffs, but I did catch up to my party over there. Any different time of year, this would have been a swamp. But here you can see there's a trail running through it. I'm actually standing on about 2.5 feet of snow. So, and just like that, they disappear off into the forest. We've crossed through this wetland many times, different weather and everything, but this is pretty frozen. After an insane amount of walking, we are still walking and we're still nowhere near where we have to be. Whew. It is getting slightly warmer, so take that as a small victory. Really cool. They have a map up here, so let's see how far we are from reality. So I'm gonna show you the loop we've done today. It's really easy to get disoriented on this thing, because it is all weird like that. You park here, and then there's multiple trays to all sorts of, and This is more or less the scale, just to get you a sense of scale. This up here, the trail that we did. And then back here, that's about 3 miles. So technically, if you take the wrong turn, you could end up way over there. And some of the more proficient people that are quick on skis, they actually hold taters all the way to the top. And I think that one is like 20 something miles round trip. But if you're going at speed, it doesn't take you a whole lot long. And there's obviously signs that I've shown on the trail. A whole bunch of bridges and everything like that. It would be really cool to actually explore the rest of it. I think when we were here and there was no snow at all, we have gone up here somewhere and there's like a rock cliff. And we ended up going sort of this way. But that's the furthest one. So we're crossing the middle of the lake. Today is one of the coldest days conceivably. And we're in the middle of the lake. We estimate that the thickness of the ice is about at least a couple of feet. And let me just put it this way, it is cold. It is cold. So we have made it almost across the lake, and the ice tends to cling to, I mean, look at this. Look at that magnificent beard. So let me break this down for you guys. Now, those of you that know me personally know that I'm not particularly fond of cold weather to begin with, and especially now with my whole knee situation. My family decided to come up to upstate New York like they normally do, and so I'm just tagging along. And it's so cold that GoPro battery tends to freeze in about 2 minutes or less, maybe even less. So I'm actually using hand warmers to warm the batteries up, and warmed in layers, of course, and even have it to wear a full face mask, because otherwise it's just way too cold. And here's a very unfortunate guy having to get the ice off the thing. Everything freezes. I mean, the handrails, the everything is just, it rains and then it snows and then it's cold again. So the poor souls having to ride all the way up, have to freeze to the seat, and tends to bring memories. I'll be spending a lot of time kind of meandering between the buildings and everything, but there's people that will help to do it. The rest of my family will be skiing and snowboarding. So there's that. So my sisters are crazy enough to go skiing or snowboarding way off in the back behind me. So I'm still over here. Family is who knows where. But that's kind of the perk of man in the ship all by yourself kind of thing. It is cold as hell. You would not believe how cold it is. So to put this into some context, obviously if you're into any sort of skiing, you know, you'd go to a place called Whiteface, which is in a different spot. But Titus is more than adequate for like a intermediate sort of skier. I used to ski all of this way back before the car accident. It is kind of confusing at times. Most people tend to gravitate towards this area because it's sort of like in the middle of things, and that's where the lodge is and everything. But technically, to get to the good stuff, you have to catch up on the top over there and then sort of that away, and then actually hit the moguls and things. When I rode those way back when, those were fun. But of course my skiing days are over, so it is what it is, I suppose. But that's kind of to put this into context. The lodge is over there, and then snow tubing park behind this building. And then my sisters are practicing on the bunny slopes. They're about to hit bigger hills. And there you have it, folks. So from what I understand, my mom is cold. She's gonna do 1 or 2 more trails and then join me for a change. It's such a pity though, because you know, I grew up skiing for most of my childhood, you know, competitively and everything, and it's sad how life turns out. But you know, you gotta deal with the cards that she dealt. Don't want to be too pessimistic, but my skiing, yeah, that's it. It's done. It's done for, unfortunately. You need strong knees, and obviously with my knee situation and my neck and back issues, no. So, but that being said, I do feel for people who have to stay behind, because it is freaking cold. So I'm just kind of meandering between buildings doing circles. So yeah, what you gonna do? I got folks over there. I got one sister, another sister. So they're gonna go up the mountain. I guess they mustered enough courage to take a bigger snowboard. My family and I have skied all through life, but they just only recently picked up snowboards. So after spending some time on the bunny slope, I guess they decided to brave the elements. So I just want to point something out. The inadequacy... Whoops. Gimbal just died again. So I just want to point something out. The inadequacy of clothing attire. Right? Look at all those people. All around me. Everybody is, you know, skiing and all that stuff. So they make snow boots and ski boots tolerant enough of the cold climate, right? And yet, if you dress in layers and you wear snowshoes like I am right now with the crampons and two layers of warm socks, you're gonna freeze your toes off. It's unfathomable. Only goes to say that the actual footwear, you know, everybody's so concerned about putting like layers and layers upon yourself. The actual feet, yeah, that's what you gotta be worried about. My sisters are up on the slope somewhere behind me, frozen like popsicles, probably. The rest of our folks are in the restaurant. Oh, somebody's just calling me. But herein lies another paradox. With it being so cold, it's also gets dark really early. So right now is about 4 o'clock, and sunset is about to happen in the next, I'd say, 20-30 minutes. It's still bright, but the visible amount of sunlight has gone substantially down. And hilariously, since I've been standing here looking at stuff, right behind me there's the ski lift, and that thing stops for like 10-15 minutes at a time. So imagine yourself being on one of those ski lift things, just freezing your ass off. And it's actually, the temperature is dropping like really bad, but there's something positive from it. I have been using the hand warmers to warm GoPro batteries in the actual GoPro, so that has been doing really well. So those of you going into the cold climate, you could get like a 2-pack for like $1, which really is nothing, you know. Spending $7-8 vacation time, they last for like 10 hours or something like that. So yep, there you go. The gimbal battery just kept out again. What they do is sag, and the GoPro is still going. So I'm gonna let you guys go for the time being. We'll see if I could continue with the vlog a little bit later, if there's anything worth talking about. Right behind me, there's this place called Whiteface Mountain that was used in Winter Olympics. And let's just say it is one hell of a cold day, and there's people crazy enough to go skiing. You can't even see the actual ski area. You see this? It's all covered in whatchamacallit. So, but there's people from all over. You see, just when you think you get to the top, you go all the way over there. Just keeps going and going. You gotta take a different lift to get there though. So, from a standpoint of majesty, you know, the mountain is obviously majestic behind me that you can see. The problem is we ran into technical difficulties. Lessons learned: take a screwdriver with you when you go skiing, because they over there are messing with the skis, trying to use a key to turn the stupid doohickey. Now normally that sort of stuff is handled on the bottom and not on the top, but nonetheless, while they're doing that, have the opportunity to appreciate just how beautiful this place is. Look at that. How cool is this? So I am at the Olympic cross-country ski area. My family is crazy enough to go skiing in this rigid weather. Honestly, for the price that it is, $36 for half a day. What are they, crazy? Once again, I'm wearing snowshoes, and I'm gonna let them do their thing, and I'm gonna keep doing mine. The area is called Mount Van Hovenberg. So for the record, what I'm doing is really crazy. Weather outside is below zero. Alright, and here I am scaling the mountain. I just came from way down there all the way up here now to an average healthy human being this time of year. Wearing skis, this would be quite a experience. And here I am with my snowshoes and my bad knee and everything. But I am determined nonetheless. My goal is to hopefully make it up the mountain. The problem is, living in Florida, I live practically at sea level. And so when I come to a place like this, you know, I am already like in the, I don't know how high it is over here in the mountains, but I'm like thousands of feet higher than I normally is, so I'm already out of breath. Plus I'm going up. So, but hopefully we'll prevail. Well, I gotta say, this is rather anticlimactic. After all that climbing, this is it. I thought I could actually get to the top. Yeah, because if you call a trail Mount something, you expect it to essentially end at the summit. But this is it. There's a second trail that sort of connects to it. And then the trail that I just took technically goes downhill that way. And then this trail up here goes slightly higher and then goes behind those trees all the way down. So what I'm gonna do is make my way down the mountain and then I guess go off on other adventures. Call me cynical, but for $36 admission, I don't know. I mean, look at it. I'm gonna pan around what I see, right? Just to kind of get you a perspective. By comparison, Paul Smith, which has very cheap admission fee and luscious greenery and just beautiful landscape. I don't know about those guys. I don't know, maybe if you're like Mr. Super Duper cross-country ski person, but neither the snow trail shoes or snowshoe trails nor the actual ski areas, I wouldn't write a book about this thing. No offense to people that like this trail. You ever get feeling of, where the hell am I going? Well, have that feeling right about now. The trail that I'm on just keeps going way off in a completely different direction. And I mean, granted, the only way to get down is down this trail. But the fact of the matter is, if you look behind me over there, it just keeps getting thicker and thicker and thicker, and you go like, what in the world is going on? Technically, where I need to be. So after hopelessly wandering about in the thick of all of this, a welcome sight. On the other side of this tree thickness, I have seen a couple of skiers that rode by, so I'm not that far off the beaten path. But on the other hand, if I didn't see the skiers like you see right now, you wouldn't know that there's an actual ski trail behind all of this. But the quality of this trail kind of goes like this. There's a couple of markings here and there, but it doesn't actually tell you where you go and how far you go and or anything. So, but hey, the spirit of adventure, this is what this channel is about. Once you get down into lower latitudes, it's lower elevations rather, get to see a bit of a change in scenery, as you see right behind me. The trees are getting to be a little bit more thick, something to actually look at. And the trail just kind of meanders just like this. If it wasn't for somebody else's footprint, I would not even know that there is a trail in here.